I call Denise Roche.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise to take a short call for the Greens on the Accident Compensation, Financial Responsibility and Transparency Amendment Bill. Sir, the details of the bill have been discussed in depth by previous speakers and particularly by my colleague Kevin Haigh, so I'll keep my comments fairly general and quite short, I hope. We support this bill. It's not as far-reaching or certainly not as reformative as we would like it to be, but the objectives around improving the framework for determining how ACC's levied accounts are funded, making it clearer and more transparent, is obviously something that we do support. We support the idea of more stable levies, and we also support the idea that the residual levy is not over-collected or under-collected. So while we acknowledge that it's a technical bill, we do sort of think that it could have gone a bit further. The Greens actually support a pay-as-you-go system of funding the ACC accident compensation. And what we are concerned about is that the current system that the government set up and has been tinkering with is essentially takes it towards an insurance company model. And ACC is more than that, sir. There are, of course, the social good aspects to it. And when it was set up in 1974, after the Woodhouse report, the social good aspects were certainly a key part of this world-breaking, world record-breaking system that we introduced here. One of the aspects of the social good part of the ACC is around injury prevention and using the levy to fund that. And it's kind of tricky for ACC, I guess, to concentrate on funding accident prevention when at the moment we have a government that is deliberately introducing legislation that cuts across that and creates more accidents in lots of ways. And I'm referring to the relaxing of alcohol control laws, and Mr Seymour might want to comment on that. But we know that when alcohol is freely available and when attitudes around alcohol are relaxed, that there is an increase. There is a huge increase in accidents and assaults and a huge number of claims. Another example of how this government has introduced legislation which cuts across the injury prevention area is the recent introduction of their Health and Safety Reform Bill, and which has the potential to undermine workplace health and safety by basically undermining a culture of safety by essentially weakening what we had previously in the health and safety laws. And so when you consider that a couple of years ago, last time I looked, we had something like 200,000 work-related injuries, it's really essential that ACC should be funding injury prevention programs. So the Greens support a risk-based levies to encourage injury prevention where that's appropriate. We believe that ACC should be funded through a mix of levies on employers, employees, motor vehicle usage and the like. But we certainly believe, sir, that it must be people-centred and that the financial bottom line is not the most important aspect of this. Certainly we need to cover the basics, but actually, sir, we need a system that puts people at the heart of this, at the heart, where their rehabilitation and their care is taken into account as the primary purpose. Thank you, sir.